Sheikh, my problem is that I am getting extreme waswas in istinja and niya. So, what is the right way to do the niya and istinja? Jazakallah.
جزانا وإياكم. Well, to be honest with you, it's easier said than done. I mean, I will give you the advice. If you were to follow the advice, you will not have any problem with the waswas. But since you're saying I have a waswas, some people would not listen to the advice. If you were to follow the advice, you will be just fine. What you need to do with istinja is do as you used to do before, without exaggeration, without spending half hour or even 15 minutes in doing so. What is required is simply the removal of the impurities from the orifices, whether after answering the call, do number 1 or number 2, and then dry up and leave. Make wudu and start off your prayer. Sitting for half hour will not remove your waswas. Shaitan will not be happy until you sit for another half hour. Then some people actually spend more than an hour doing istinja. Let me bring to your attention something will help you a great deal. At the time of the Prophet and his companions, they used to do istinja via stones. They didn't have restrooms. They didn't have bathroom facilities. They will go in the open and answer the call of nature. And there they will pick some stones in order to clean up after answering the call of nature. Yes, indeed. Sometimes 3 stones will be sufficient. Now you're using tissues and you're using water. MashaAllah, excessive cleaning should be sufficient to do it once and leave, especially with the people who have this problem of the waswas. They think that, oh, after they finished their istinja and now they're making wudu, maybe the toilet seat had some impurities. Did you see it before you sat? No. Then dismiss the thought. It's a waswasa. It's a whisper of the shaitan. How do you know about all of that? Because of the many questions I receive and the counseling sessions. So after the sister or the brother will do istinja and now they're ready to make wudu, shaitan will whisper to them, the toilet seat had some impurities on it. But you remember that you wiped it out and you cleaned it off. But, let me do it again. And in this case, you open a door. That means my body was soiled with impurities. And I put on my clothes afterwards, so the clothes were soiled with impurities. So the sister will take a bath, remove all her clothes, throw them in the washing machine, and start this whole cycle for every prayer. So the husband would say, honey, you should quit praying because you lost your mind. And the man who is working, maybe a company owner or a business owner or a manager, is wasting a lot of time to the extent that wudu becomes a burden. Tahara becomes a heavy burden for them. Allah didn't say that. In fact, everything in our deen talks about ease and moderation. Look what Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah. يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. He said so. What you are choosing for yourself is hardship. Allah doesn't want this. Allah wants to make things easy for you. So do istinja once, twice, 3 times with the water, with the tissues, and then leave immediately. Make wudu. And do not repeat your wudu even if shaitan whispers to you after you finished. Maybe I didn't wash my right arm 3 times, only twice, valid. I think I did wash my left foot only once, valid. Oh, I'm not sure whether I washed my right arm first or my left arm. Do not go back because you are in a condition where you're suffering from waswasa. You're suffering from waswasa. Ignore it. And then when you say Allahu Akbar, he will come to you again and say, oh, you didn't make the right intention. This is Dhuhr and you said, I'm gonna pray Asr. Ignore him. Because what is so beautiful about the intention is it resides in the heart. And the heart is only looked at by Allah the Almighty. When I decided to make wudu, I decided to make wudu because it is Asr time. Have you prayed Dhuhr? Yeah, a couple hours ago. So which prayer is this right now is due? Asr. So even if by mistake we initially said you don't have to pronounce the intention, as a matter of fact, it is not prescribed. النية محلها القلب. So you say Allahu Akbar and you commence into the prayer, and that is your intention. It is not the sunnah to say, I intend to pray Asr 4 rak'ahs. Whom are you telling? Are you telling the guys next to you right and left, or Allah? If you're talking about Allah, He doesn't want to hear that. He knows that the moment you got up, started making wudu, you're coming to pray Asr, not Dhuhr. So even if somebody did it and followed whatever madhab and said, oh Allah, I intend to pray Dhuhr, while he has already prayed Dhuhr and he knows he's coming to pray Asr, this slip of the tongue would not affect the validity of the prayer. Why? Because the niyyah, the intention, overcomes the verbal mistake. So it's very simple. You don't have to worry about the intention if you know there are 5 daily prayers and this is Asr or this is Maghrib. Once you say Allahu Akbar, you already commence into the prayer without need to pronounce or utter your intention. Trust me, it requires a lot of practice. But once you practice, as we said, you'll be able to overcome this waswasa forever, inshallah.